And I wanted to remind folks again, if you are able to make a donation to the Disaster Relief Fund, if you go to Rotary5130.org, you'll find the information, and you can also always send a check to Ashley, not to her personally, but you know what to do. So. Also wanted to note that the Red Cross is in need of some volunteers. This came out yesterday. I don't know if they've gotten their volunteers or what the situation is, but if you have any time this next week, and they'll work with your schedule, just go ahead and text Danny or email Danny or however, and they could use folks as help driving supplies around to people. So if you're able to do that, let them know. Ed agreed to be our webmaster, and then he left the state. So hopefully he'll come back. I don't know if he's going to be here today, but we'll thank him. He went off to Utah so he could experience some other weather, and he got to experience snow. So ever the adventurer. That's what Ed did this last week. But he'll be back and he'll help us with this. So when you see him or talk to him or email him, thank him, because it's going to be great to have someone, help back on that. Wear your mask. Don't make us ask. We are sending photos in. If you haven't done so already, send them to wearamask@gmail.com. We're going to get ourselves a nice Rotary mask sign that we'll be able to put in our businesses or in your own house if you really like your photo. So that'll be fun. Also wanted to let you know about this upcoming event. And Charlie, I don't know if you want to say a few words on this. You're welcome to. But you have to unmute yourself. That's the rule.
Sorry, thought I had. So between tomorrow, the 12th, and the 20th, which is next Sunday, so you have a full solid week. HealthSport is able to support this and promote this memorial run, and it's virtual. And we're really excited because, of course, we had to cancel this year due to COVID. So we're encouraging folks, you can sign up with HealthSport, and there are definitely going to be prizes for folks. We're, again, going to be supporting the Pack Out Green team, and that's pretty much it.
Great. Oops, how did that happen? Thank you. And I know that this early part of the week may not be a great time to go out or go out today or tomorrow, but you have till the 20th. So hopefully the skies will clear a little bit in the next few days, and it'll be a healthier day to go out and support that effort. Thanks, Charlie. So we've got some service stuff. And I had invited Alissa here to talk to us briefly about community gardens and the role of community gardens in healthy communities. So I'm looking, there you are. So I'm turning it over to you, and go ahead and share with us a little bit what you want to tell us about the community gardens locally.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for having me here. I do have some slides to share.
Okay.
Let's see here.
So you should be able to now do that.
You might share. Okay. Oh, here we go. Okay. Can everyone see that?
Yes.
Okay. So there are all sorts of community gardens, and I work for Open Door as one of their gardens coordinators, and so we connect our gardens with the health of our community. And so I'll just go a little through the background of our open door program. And we have our best practices are addressing the social determinants of health regardless of circumstance. And Open Doors Garden Team operates under our Member Services Department, which is the department that helps people get Medi-Cal, CalFresh, Covered California, and all sorts of other health-related and nutrition-related resources. So yeah, that's, oops. Let's see. Okay, and our mission statement is here. We formed to provide health and nutrition education resources and support to patients and community members in alignment with Open Doors' triple aim, which is to reduce health costs, improve health outcomes, and optimize patient experience. So every seed that's planted or harvested, or zucchini that's harvested, goes directly to the health of our community. And our garden team the program provides open community gardens. So our garden model is kind of different than a lot of community gardens where individuals or families rent out a plot and they harvest and take care of the plot and it's all on their own. Ours are kind of a communally tended model where volunteers show up and we take in their input and share knowledge and skills, and we all work together to provide produce to give away to the community, and volunteers get to take home whatever produce they can eat also. And we do weekly garden produce distributions. This used to be pre-COVID in our clinic sites in the lobbies, and now we have different things going on. And we also have weekly volunteer times, and those now are being pre-scheduled because of COVID. We do outreach through workshops and planting events, and we do nutrition education through a prescription for wellness, home gardens program, and farmers market vouchers. So this is our prescription for wellness. So when you go to the doctor at Open Door, it's possible that you could be prescribed gardening. So you can be prescribed anything related to the social determinants of health, like eating more vegetables, being more active, drinking more water, being mindful, getting some rest, or going out to garden. And this is our Home Gardens pilot program, happened for 3 years. And in this, patients were prescribed a garden at home, and we would go build them a garden bed style of their choice and set them up with plant, soil, and books and education to keep their garden going. And sometimes we hand out these farmers market vouchers. We're connected with our community partner, the NCGA farmers markets, so we can keep the dollars local in our community. And this is all CalFresh funded. And this is in our different garden sites. We have demonstration garden beds, so examples of what people can kind of do at home, like a raised garden bed, which is wheelchair accessible or good for people who can't bend over so well, or pallet gardens or different styles of gardens. So this is the pounds of produce grown in 2018. This is the most recent kind of like standard graph that we have for regular times. And so as you can see, we've produced a couple thousand pounds of produce in our 4 gardens actually in Humboldt. And the Eureka garden produces a lot, and it's the smallest garden. And I feel like that is because we have the biggest volunteer support. We have a group of 5 to 7 people that come there every single week to help out. And so it's a tiny, tiny space. It's right across the Eureka Open Door Clinic, if you've ever seen it. And it produces a lot of food, and I think it's because of the people support. And so here is the Fortuna Garden is a second, and then Willow Creek and Arcata are kind of producing less than those. And here's just a little graph of our volunteers. These are some of our Eureka volunteers a couple years ago, and Eureka's volunteer show, um, volunteers show up the most, and then Arcata with some student HSU classes and things. And these are some pictures of our distribution sites in the clinics, the tables, Fortuna and Willow Creek, and our two open, Arcata, Open Door, and Eureka. And so this is our post-COVID. We've been distributing food in a different way. So we've been connecting with a lot of other community organizations like the Jefferson Center, and NCGA is putting together weekly boxes since COVID started, so people can kind of pick up a pre-ordered box so they don't have to really go to market and expose themselves to COVID. And we've been donating to the St. Joe's Pantry, Fortuna and Eureka Paso a Paso, which is a St. Joe's program helping immigrant families, and the Kamau Resource Center, or a Senior Center in Hoopa, and the Willow Creek Family Resource Center. So that's the poundage we've donated in the last quarter of this year since COVID. And here are some photos of our different gardens. Here's the Eureka garden. It's a small space. And just different things happening there. And here is our Willow Creek garden. It's different raised beds because it's such rocky soil. So there we get to grow tomatoes, which is exciting. Here's the smaller, so we have two Fortuna gardens, a smaller plot here in the Fortuna Garden Pantry, which is over on Newburgh Road, which a lot of different people rent garden plots from. And here is the new Fortuna Clinic site, where this is under construction in 2018, and now there's a lush, productive garden there, and it's pretty exciting. We have a lot of space there, and we have a lot of native plants and demonstration gardens there. This is the Del Norte Community Garden, which is more the traditional model. Individuals can rent out a plot and then just tend it themselves, and it's all theirs. And here's the Arcata Garden. So, and you all, thank you to those of you who've been helping there. And as Maggie may have informed you, I'm not sure, but it's going through transition now. So we at Open Door have decided to pass it on. We've been taking care of it since 2012, and with current just limited staff availability with COVID and a lot of the problems we've had there, we've decided to pass it on because we have several other gardens to take care of, and in this space we put a lot of love and effort into it, and but we just with some there are just issues that no one organization or one person or group of people can really solve. There's like a lot of homelessness and substance abuse and mental health issues that are untreated, and so yeah, and we've always wanted this space to be an open community garden, and it is, but right now we just don't have the capacity to continue providing this space for people. And this land is owned by the Presbyterian Church, and they've been very supportive and welcoming of having us there. And but so now we are hoping another community organization will we can pass the torch on to someone, another organization. And I've been in contact with Humboldt Mutual Aid, and they seem very interested, but they don't have, it's kind of a loosely organized group of individuals who are very motivated, but they don't have a lot of funding for, the water bill or the rent, but they're trying to figure out ways in which they've been talking with Pastor Dan at the church and figuring it out. And Open Door, I and Open Door are going to help support efforts in whatever way we can. And so Mutual Aid has different free produce stands. I don't know if you all know, there's one on M and 12th Street in Arcata on Mondays. They just give out free food to anyone, and they're thinking of the possibility of setting a produce stand in this garden space because it's more centralized, and then people who really need and want the food could go there and pick up the food. Here's some photos of just some other things that have gone on in the past in the Arcata Garden. We've hosted the CCCs there several times. This was like a giant comfrey pole that they did. They just came through like awesome worker bees and just destroyed the comfrey. These are some different workshops we've had going on there. The Hugel Culture workshop happened just before COVID started, and we couldn't have volunteer groups anymore. But we built some really cool Hugel culture beds. We've had mushroom growing workshops, birthday mosaic building, and an artist, Jennifer B., installed this peace pole there, which was really nice. And had compost tea workshops going on. And here are just some other volunteers and photos from the past. Yes, a volunteer built this beautiful kiosk from found lumber, and we've had volunteers from the clinic come every once in a while in the community. And yeah, and so I know originally Maggie had the idea of me presenting to you all to maybe recruit volunteers to the garden, and now Open Door is not going to manage the garden anymore, but it still needs volunteer support from the community and community investment, because it just needs a presence there of people who are wanting to help out and who care about our neighborhoods and beautifying some green space and having an open space for people to grow food. So yeah.
Thank you, Alissa. We have a few minutes that we can see if people have any questions or comments for you. I know that Dr. Lindsay mentioned also, what's it called, Humboldt Connections? Is that the group that does a lot of gardening? Excuse me. Cooperation Humboldt. That's
Cooperation Humboldt.
Cooperation
Humboldt.
Yeah.
Great.
They might be interested, and I can get you the contact information for somebody in that group. Any questions or comments from anybody? Anything you want to ask Alissa about this? Members? I know it's the comfrey is definitely a challenge there in that garden. So it does need regular, well, all gardens need regular care. So I do hope, and let us know what happens. Let me know, because I can share it with people. And if there's any individuals who want to get involved and go out and join and support that project, I can pass the word to them, Alissa. That would be happy to do that.
Okay.
Any questions or comments? We really appreciate you coming and telling us, updating us, because I know, when you see a sign there that says Open Door, and I know it's coming down, it's just good for us to know what's happening and what's changing, so that we can let other people know when they have questions that, we can tell them what's going on. So we appreciate you coming and talking to us.
I have a quick question.
Yes, go Ian.
For those of us who were
severely optimistic on growing enough to eat this year and then overproduced what we can eat. Does the program accept excess food from private gardens?
We would, yeah, because we definitely have the we have multiple places we distribute to. So,
Okay.
I mean, yeah, we would.
Great. Okay.
And we'll
We'll
just
be in
pass
touch.
it on to, yeah, thanks.
Alyssa, if you could put your email in the chat, and then people can contact you directly and ask how to go about doing that, where to deliver.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
We appreciate your time. Thank you. I go sneak back into your house and
Yeah.
go back to bed or something.
No, I'm gonna make some coffee now.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right. Take care.
You too.
So we were talking about doing our coastal cleanup tomorrow. I wonder if we're going to delay that. Romy, what do you think, given the air quality? I don't know, but I know we have a handful of us who are planning to do it. But Jessica, you're nodding. What are your thoughts?
I thought we were on to be able to do it, but I don't know. I guess, if you feel like the air is too icky tomorrow, I mean, it's certainly not like it was on Wednesday, which was really apocalyptic. But there's just a lot of dirt or there's a lot of crap in the gutters and in the streets around here. And so
Right.
I'm looking forward to going and working to clean that up.
Yes. Okay. So we are doing it. So tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock, we're meeting at Wildberries. We need it. We know we have a handful of us who are doing it. Is there anybody out there who would like to join us? Kind of wave your hand so we kind of know who's coming. Mike's coming.
Hey, Joyce.
Joyce, great. Okay. We need Tom, I think you're bringing the vests. Were you still going to be able to bring vests for us or something? We'll get some of these details, but if you have, bring your gloves, bring trash bags. We'll try.
Picker-uppers.
And if you have picker-uppers, we want to have vests out there because we're not going to be isolated from humans. We're going to be in the street, and we really need to make sure we're being seen and not hit. So 8 o'clock at Wildberries, everybody, and we'll do as much as we can with the people we have there.
Maggie,
Great.
I only have like 3 or 4 vests,
Okay,
but just a couple.
okay. So wear a
Pick up a
bright,
helmet.
okay, bring what you have and wear bright colors, I guess is what I'll tell you then. And we'll see people there.
Or
Wonderful.
Rotarian at work shirts, maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
Who has access to the picker-uppers for highway cleanup?
I think Carol's the one, so we'd have to follow up with Carol, and I don't see her today. So we'll take the last minute organization of this off screen, but yeah, we'll see you guys all there, those who can, tomorrow at 8. Amanda, I wanted to see if you wanted to give a plug about the meal deliveries and just let people know where we're at with that and see if anyone else wants to join that.
Yeah, if anyone wants to join, we're doing some meal deliveries for kind of seniors in the Arcata area where we have, I think there's 5 of us, and each week one of us shows up at noon on a Wednesday and picks up. We're down to only 2 meals. It may go back up. We're going to do a check to make sure there's not some seniors in need. And we take them their week's frozen meals. If anyone's interested, I have a little spreadsheet. We kind of keep going of who's going each week. It's pretty simple and easy, and I think we're doing some good help. So 1 hour on Wednesdays.
Yeah, and it doesn't even take an hour right now, so it's really quick. The other thing I wanted to mention is there has been a request for meal delivery help in Eureka on Tuesdays, and I passed it to the Eureka clubs, and they're already helping the senior center with meal deliveries, and they can't take this on, but any of us who work in Eureka and could have time at lunchtime to do meal deliveries, they're looking for help. And I didn't commit to that because I told them that, I needed to put it out to the club. But if if anybody is thinking they might be able to take an hour on Tuesdays periodically, if I can get enough people together, we'll volunteer. If I can't, then we won't. So if you have any interest in that, if you're regularly in Eureka on Tuesdays or could be and would have time for that, let me know. Lisa, backpacks.
So Backpack for Kids is going to be starting up. It's going to be a little bit different this year because of COVID. So the plan is that we pick up the food on Wednesdays at the Food for the People at their new station, which is on Cedar in Eureka. And then we're going to be going to someone's home, and I'm going to start off with coming to my home. And we're going to keep it limited to only 3 to 4 people. And, you know, so that there's not a lot of people touching the food and the bags and all of that. And then they're going to be delivered. Whoever wants to deliver to them schools, they can come and it can be put into their car, and then we can deliver the next morning, Thursday morning. The reason they're doing it earlier in the week is because it's the bus. The food is going to be going on the buses to deliver to the kids, and the kids will meet at the bus stops to pick up their food. So that's why they want to do it that way. And it's going to, looking at the calendar, the first week of school, I believe I'm not sure if it's the last week of September or the first week in October, because the 1st of October is on a Thursday. So I have to check with Carrie Smith at the Food for the People to see if our first pickup is on the 30th or on the 7th.
Okay.
And so we'll go from there.
Yeah, so we have a couple weeks to get that organized and get started again on that. So we'll hear more from on that next week when we have a little more information. Mike, you're talking, but we're not hearing you.
Lisa, real quick question. Pickup was noon to 1 o'clock, kind of. Is that when it is on Wednesday?
It's going to be by noontime you can pick it up. So it'll be ready by 11 is what Carrie has told me.
Okay, so if I go to Eureka to pick it up, I have to come back and deliver food to what I'm doing on Wednesdays at noon.
Well, you don't
Or I
get to
could bring it.
you don't have to do both things you don't have to do both things at the same time. We'll work that out with a schedule. So we'll work that out. You don't ever have to be in 2 places at once. Promise.
No.
Understand.
This is not Harry Potter land. So I wanted to go on because we're I don't know why these slides skip, but I did want to remind everybody that September is about basic education and literacy. And next week we're going to do some math. So I just want to forewarn you, we're going to do math. It's going to be math that I can do, so it's not going to be new math. But I thought I would point this out because basic education and literacy, it doesn't stop this is, for Rotary, it's about early years and making sure children have school and are learning, but it's also about us learning. And I wanted to give a little shout out to AJ, who's doing an Ollie brown bag presentation on the 19th of October. And he's talking about financial literacy and changing technology. So AJ, good on you for volunteering to teach Ollie folks about this. What is the main thing we're going to learn? Because I might check this out. What's the main thing you're going to tell us, or is that kind of ruining it?
No, I mean banking has definitely evolved over the years, and there's a lot of technology that's available to help protect yourself, and then it's good to be aware of all the variety of scams that are out there. So yeah, I'm approaching this from a fraud standpoint, and just ensuring that we all have the tools to not fall for what's out there, and then be more mindful of how we manage our money.
Great, thank you. So
can you go back to that slide, Maggie?
Yes, hold on. There it is. I'm having, hold on.
Okay.
The problem is I'm in slide land and not in, there we go. Here we are. All right. All right. There we go. Is it there?
Yes, thank you.
Great. So I'm going to apologize to our committee reporting folks. I'm going to ask you to report next week instead of this week because I want to get to our main presentation. But before we do that, Nick, are you ready for the raffle? Whoops.
Yep, I'm ready.
All right. Drum roll.
All right. So the pot today is $50 and those 2 gift certificates to Connect Coffee and the health sport. Let's see who's going to win today. Ooh, Dick.
Yay, Dick.
Dick wins a lot.
I don't cheat.
No, Dick, but I was about to say you have to play to win, so he plays.
He plays all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, so orange ball, and that's $5 to Dick and $1 on the table. So if you want to add $1 to Venmo, go ahead and do that. If not, that's fine.
Well, we could also figure the odds of how many dollars on the table there might be in a year, and we could just all send that money once and just be done with it. But
yeah,
whatever.
everybody should just send me $100 for $1 on the table. That'll work.
There we go. Yeah, if you want to send more than $1 since you're going about your business of doing it, feel free. All right, thank you, Nick.
I think we should do a Venmo training. I'm wondering how many people don't do it because they're intimidated by Venmo.
I can do another Venmo training. I did one with Maggie and
no, not with Maggie.
Not with Maggie. Terry. I did one with Terry.
Not to brag, but I figured out Venmo.
You did. You did a great job.
Yeah.
We did a great Venmo training.
Yes, and so Amanda's available. Who else would be available to train a one-on-one? Somebody with Venmo, put up your hand. I could help. Romy would help. Stephanie would help. So reach out to your friends in Rotary, and they will help you understand Venmo. And once you do it, it's so fun. I mean, I'm sending money to people I don't even know. Well, wait a minute. Okay. So
maybe you need to talk to AJ about that, sending money to people you don't know.
Maybe I should. Hey, I send money with Western Union, and they when you get to be a certain age, they start asking you a lot more questions about who you're sending money to. I go, I swear to God, I know these people.